reliable, reliable, reliable. As an adjective, this means suitable or fit to be relied on, i.e. dependable, and it also means giving the same result on successive trials. So the first definition just means, I don't know, if you ask someone to meet you at 6 p.m. and you knew they would be a reliable person. If you could trust somebody with a large amount of money, they would be reliable in that sense because you can depend on them or rely upon them. And this also includes objects. For example, an oven is a reliable source of heat. A microwaving food is a reliable way of heating up food, for example, right? So it also describes like appliances and stuff like that. Or a reliable car is a car that's in good condition and won't break down, for example. The second one refers to studies. So, for example, we might do a study on, I don't know, chemistry, some kind of chemistry study. And every time we do the study, the outcome is the same or so similar that it's basically the same. And that would be a reliable study and a reliable trial. Let's have a look at some examples. The study is reliable. The study is reliable. Karen is a reliable sister. Karen is a reliable sister. Daniel is a reliable carer. Daniel is a reliable carer. My husband is reliable. My husband is reliable. Trustworthy, trustworthy, trustworthy. As an adjective, this means worthy of confidence, i.e. dependable, or deserving of confidence, or deserving confidence, dependable. These are basically the same definitions with not much difference. So I'll just give a little explanation. Let's say you are very drunk, or perhaps you've had a head injury or something, and you need to get money out of your bank account. And you have a friend that you're so confident in them, you believe that they would never do anything bad to you, never do anything wrong to you, never wrong you in any way, that you give them the PIN number and say, please get some money out of this ATM. You've done this because they are trustworthy. They are worthy of that confidence. You can depend on them to do the right thing. So they're trustworthy in that sense. And let's say you buy some ice cream. Imagine you bought ice cream in a place that was so bad that you couldn't trust that it wasn't plastic or fake ice cream. The people selling it wouldn't be very trustworthy. Let's have a look at some example sentences. My wife is a trustworthy woman. My wife is a trustworthy woman. My son is not trustworthy. He often cheats. My son is not trustworthy. He often cheats. Our family is very trustworthy. Our family is very trustworthy. My bank is trustworthy. My bank is trustworthy. Understanding, understanding, understanding. As an adjective, this means endowed with understanding, tolerant and sympathetic. Or it could mean knowing and intelligent. So, the first meaning is just somebody who is able to empathize with a situation, is able to, let's say someone did something bad to you, but it wasn't too major. You might be tolerant of what they've done, and by extension, you're understanding, or you're sympathetic towards them. You understand why they're upset, and you're understanding of their situation. And then the second is knowing and intelligent. That's to have an understanding of something. So we could say that I am very understanding of chess would mean that I know a lot about chess, or that I'm understanding of my intellectual pursuits. This would mean that I'm intelligent, and so because I'm intelligent, I'm understanding of certain things. Let's have a look at some examples. My husband is understanding of my situation. My husband is understanding of my situation. My child is very understanding. My child is very understanding. My mother is not an understanding person. My mother is not an understanding person. Cohesive, cohesive, cohesive. As an adjective, this means exhibiting or producing cohesion or coherence. So basically it means that people are able to work together as one unit, or something is able to work together as one unit, or that they're able to say things that are coherent, that make sense, that have some kind of base in logic. Or it could mean both. It could mean that they're able to work together and follow a coherent, i.e. logical plan. Right, let's have a look at some examples. That is a cohesive plan. That is a cohesive plan. We are a cohesive family. We are a cohesive family. David's family are not very cohesive. David's family are not very cohesive. This is a cohesive environment. This is a cohesive environment. Warm-hearted, warm-hearted, warm-hearted. As an adjective, this means marked by ready affection, cordiality, generosity, or sympathy. And it can also mean marked by warmth of feeling. So, the first definition just means someone who's, quite just a nice person. They're very sympathetic towards children or animals. They're very generous with either their time or their money, and they're ready to give affection and love to other people, and they're ready to be cordial and kind, right? Well, that's a warm-hearted person. And it can also mean the feeling that you would receive, I suppose, from a person like that. A warm feeling, a feeling that makes you happy, joyful, and comfortable. That's what warm-hearted means. Let's have a look at some examples. Veronica is a warm-hearted person. Veronica is a warm-hearted person. I am not a warm-hearted person. I am not a warm-hearted person. My family are warm-hearted towards me. My family are warm-hearted towards me. What a warm-hearted welcome. What a warm-hearted welcome. Generous, generous, generous. As an adjective, this means liberal in giving and open-handed. It also means marked by abundance or ample proportions. And it can mean characterized by a noble or kindly spirit, magnanimous, kindly. So the first definition, liberal in giving, open-handed, it might mean, for example, let's say a child asks you for some candy and you give them way more than you need to, far more than you need to, and they're very, very happy. You're a generous person. Or maybe you don't have a lot of money, but you still give money to the homeless because you're so generous, right? You're liberal in giving your money and your time or whatever. It also means marked by abundance or ample proportions. So it might mean that you go to a restaurant and you buy a meal, and the meal is huge. It's a large portion. It's a very generous portion. It's a very generous meal. There's an abundant amount of food because it's a generous portion, a generous amount of something. And then the third definition, this is a person who's generous in the sense that they've got good moral standing and they're kind towards other people, right? Let's have a look at some examples. My boss is a generous woman. My boss is a generous woman. That was a generous meal. That was a generous meal. He's a generous and honorable man. He's a generous and honorable man. She's never generous. She's never generous. Encouraging, encouraging, encouraging. As an adjective, this means giving hope or promise. So let's say a child is not doing so well at school. You might say, oh, don't worry, you're really good at this, and I'm sure you'll do better in the future. You're encouraging them. You're giving them encouragement. But let's say, for example, you see a homeless person or something like that, or someone in a bad position, a much worse position than you, and they're very happy and they're very joyful in their life. That's encouraging to see. It gives you hope for the future because you're in a better position than them, yet they're happy, which means you can be happy, right? Encouraging. Let's have a look at some examples. Seeing that dog so happy is encouraging to me. Seeing that dog so happy is encouraging to me. I've always been an encouraging mother. I've always been an encouraging mother. What an encouraging sight. What an encouraging sight. Harmonious, harmonious, harmonious. As an adjective, this means free from disagreement or dissent, and also forming a pleasing or consistent whole. So the first definition just means, let's say you have a girlfriend and you never disagree, you never have big differences in opinion, and you're always loving and kind to each other. You can say that that's a very harmonious relationship that you have. And let's say that you have a kitchen that is very nice to look at. It's very pleasing. There's nothing disorderly about it. You could say that your kitchen is harmonious, or you could say that your life is free of stress and overall quite satisfying, quite good. You could say that you have a harmonious life. Let's have a look at some examples. We are a harmonious family. We are a harmonious family. Our living room is harmonious. Our living room is harmonious. Me and my husband have a harmonious relationship. Me and my husband have a harmonious relationship. My daughter is chaotic and not harmonious at all. My daughter is chaotic and not harmonious at all. Protective, protective, protective. As an adjective, this means to cover or shield from exposure, injury, damage, or destruction. A guard. So knights, when they used to fight, they wore shields, and shields protect you from damage. So they are protective. Certain types of glasses protect people from, damage. They might protect, sunglasses might protect you from the sun. A seatbelt would protect you from potentially death in a fatal car accident, right? And so a seatbelt could be seen as protective, but also a mother who stops a child from running into the road can be seen as protective. A mother who doesn't let her child get sick or looks after her child when the child is sick could be seen as a protective mother. Let's have a look at some examples. She's an extremely protective mother. She's an extremely protective mother. I'm rather protective of my children. I'm rather protective of my children. I don't want to be too protective of my siblings. I don't want to be too protective of my siblings. This equipment is not very protective. This equipment is not very protective. Unkempt, unkempt, unkempt. As an adjective, when referring to a person, it means having an untidy or disheveled appearance. So what this could mean is you might see a person who has very messy hair, very smelly, very untidy, very bad clothing. These people would be unkempt. They would have an unkempt appearance. And you could say that a messy kitchen or a smelly kitchen is unkempt as well. Let's have a look at some examples. My child has an unkempt and savage appearance. My child has an unkempt and savage appearance. The children looked unkempt. The children looked unkempt. I cannot have my husband looking unkempt. I cannot have my husband looking unkempt. I never look unkempt. Sorry, my job is too professional. I never look unkempt. My job is too professional. There should be the word look here. I've just missed it. Apologies for that.